Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for tuning in to what's going to be a review of the new e.l.f. Beauty Shield collection. They sent me almost the entire collection. I only just recently realized they didn't send the setting spray, so I will be reviewing and talking about and demoing all of the products within the collection except for that setting spray. But before we get started, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button right down there to join the Bailey Bunch and never miss a video. Now let's go ahead and dive in. So first off, an overview of the collection. The whole premise behind the Beauty Shield line is that it contains lots of skin protecting SPFs and antioxidants to protect your skin against environmental aggressors, whether it is UV rays, pollution, all that kind of stuff. Especially the more we're outside during the warm summer months, these are supposed to help keep your skin protected against that. So just as a primer for what this collection is, that's in it in a nutshell. I'm going to first start off though with the product that I was most curious about. I think a lot of us are, because it's already sold out on the e.l.f. website. So if you're watching this and it's still sold out, just sign up for that wait list if you're still interested in after hearing what I have to say about it. You'll be notified once it comes available again, but this was easily the most intriguing product from the collection for me. That product happens to be the Recharging Magnetic Mask, and I was curious about this not only because the premise behind it is that it's a mask you apply, it's magnetically charged though, so you take this little tool that comes with it and it literally pulls the mask off. There is no rinsing. This is supposed to pull it clean off your face. You just rub the excess in and you're good to go. That in and of itself is a really interesting premise for a mask, but it also, I mean, is pretty outright identical to the Dr. Brandt Magnetite mask that kind of had a viral moment, I would say, in the beauty community because of that same innovative concept. Now, I didn't actually try the Dr. Brandt mask myself, so I can't do a direct comparison for you here today. I didn't actually pick it up for a couple of reasons, most of which is because I wasn't really impressed with the results. A couple people had good things to say about it, but I also saw a lot of people saying, you know, the #1 ingredient here, iron powder, doesn't really have any real skin benefits. It's mostly a product built around this new application technique, which really doesn't have any sort of unique skin benefits aside than any other skin mask. Except I will say, I do love the idea of being able to remove a mask without water, because I just, maybe it's that I just don't take the time and care to remove my mask, but it's like, it's just a mess. It's almost a deterrent for me to take it off because of how messy the masking process is. So, you know, to that extent, I kind of get it, but not enough to make me want to buy this $75 mask. So if you kind of found yourself in the same boat, even though $24 is on the steep end for e.l.f., it's still more affordable than that. So let's now go ahead and talk about what comes in this guy. You get the mask itself, and then you also get the magnetic removal tool. Here is the magnetic head. This is just like kind of a thin plastic. You get the point. Then, unlike the Dr. Brandt, which you were supposed to slip like a tissue or some sort of removable object over the head and to remove it and then throw that away, these actually come with protective sleeves. You slip these over the top, and that's what you use to take the product off. That way you can take the sleeve off and chuck that in the trash. I will say though, I mean, I don't know that you can repurchase these on e.l.f.'s website, so until you run out of the mask and like buy a whole new mask, there really is no way to get these replacements. And so I do want to say that in trying this, I found that you could basically use that same Dr. Brandt technique, and this is in fact one that I just used for the demo here. And what I did was I took the sleeve off, I wrapped the tissue around the magnetic head, and I pulled it off, and it's perfectly clean, good as new. I'm going to put it back in this little baggie here so that it can be reused. Just wanted to do that to see if you do feel like you're running out of these sooner than you're running out of your mask, you can kind of work some magic to make sure that you can still preserve these, because the tissue thing that I saw when a lot of people were demoing that was that the tissue would kind of break apart. And while it might seem like an extra step, something I noticed when a lot of people were using the Dr. Brandt product is that they put their tissue over top, but depending on how thick and sturdy their, you know, paper product was, sometimes it would tear through that and then you'd end up with the product on the magnet. And the whole point against that is that it's a very strong magnet. It's really hard to get the product off, so it's easy just to take a protective layer. And I find that these are more sturdy likely than any other paper product you're going to use. So that's it for all of the application information. Now let's talk about the actual mask itself. You can see it's a very thick mask. It feels like any other sort of thicker, creamier mask. You can't actually feel the iron fragments in there. Smooths on really nicely. It's easy to get a quick, thick application, but you'll notice in the demo that I'm actually only using it on a very small portion of my face, and that is because the first time I used this, it was on my chin, and it broke me out like crazy. So I unfortunately didn't record it that time because I was just trying to give it a go, and I wanted to use it for a longer period of time to kind of report back on the results. And after I broke out, I was like, I'm good. That's all I need to see. No more results for me. For reference, I have combination skin and I had a couple of breakouts here before. The purpose of this is to, you know, the whole magnetic technique is supposed to lift away surface impurities, leave your skin soft, smooth, supple before makeup application. So this is a pre-makeup tool. I will say that once the product is gone, there is definitely, like, you can feel there are lots of oils in this, and I think between that and the dimethicone, that's like the second ingredient in here, there's definitely a lot of smoothing ingredients left behind for you to rub into your skin. There's easily that immediate effect of soft, supple skin. Great. Something or maybe multiple ingredients in there just didn't agree with my skin, and that's what broke me out. So I will say it leaves your skin really soft and supple before the makeup application process, but it just did not work out for me. Now I want to quickly talk about another tool from the collection. This is the Dual Defense Cleansing Facial Brush, and it retails for $8. Comes with this plastic lid on the top, and it's okay. That was unplanned. How do you put this back? Oh, okay. Fun fact number one, apparently these brush heads are, no, they're not replaceable. It's just broken. Okay, well, that changes the review a little bit now, doesn't it? Wow, okay. Okay, so let's start off with what I was going to say. This thing retails for $8. I think the actual brush itself is nice in that this end is tapered like this to act as a product scoop, so it keeps things more sanitary. Love that. The brush, unlike a brush that I forget which collection they launched it with, but it's a very basic brush. It feels like these exact same bristles, but they're very soft. The difference is this brush has harder, let's see, there are 5 different kind of harder plasticky bristles in here, and so I personally like that because it's not only kind of cleansing and frothing up your cleanser, but it's also kind of like a facial massage, and that pressure I just personally find to be really relaxing, and so it's a 2-in-1 kind of product in that way. It stimulates blood flow, all that kind of stuff. Easy to clean. You rinse it. God bless it all. Whatever. Okay, you get it. I'm just gonna talk with my hands right now. So it's easy to clean, lather it up, you rinse it off, and then it comes with this plastic casing right here, locks into what used to be a rim around this, but maybe that's why it came off. I don't really know. Anywho, locks into that so that it suspends the brush over the surface of your counter and lets it drip dry down, which is, in theory, would preserve the little connections between the bristles and the plastic, but that remains to be seen. And so overall, prior to what just happened, I would have recommended it. If you're looking for a good, you know, it's nothing high tech, it's a very basic brush, but it has some unique functionalities to it, would have recommended it, but unfortunately, I have only used this for about 2 weeks, and it fell apart. So even though it's only $8, like e.l.f. can do better. I know they have a ton of products that I personally really love, brushes specifically, that have lasted for a long time, and so I can't say recommend this anymore. So moving on. Moving on to some skincare and a product that I actually like. This is the Vitamin C Pollution Prevention Serum. It comes with a little dropper here, and what I like is that, well, here, let's actually get some product in here. It's a pretty fluid, I'll do a close-up here, but it's a very thin formula, and what I like about this, typically I'm not a dropper fan, but this, first of all, the formula lends itself to a dropper. It's not thick, so it doesn't goop up around the outside here, but it also has a stopper that perfectly fits the circumference of the dropper itself, and so it does a really good job at clearing out any excess product that's kind of holding on to that dropper. Overall, really like this delivery method, and it's not typically my favorite. This retails for, like I said, did I say that? I can't remember. Either way, retails for $16, so again, a little bit up there from e.l.f. And a couple of you have actually asked me to look into the skincare brand. Well, they also have foundation, but they have a lot of good skincare apparently, as well as The Ordinary, and they have a vitamin C product that retails for $5.80, less than $6. I think they actually have a couple of formulations, and so I don't think it's identical to this. This contains vitamin C, vitamin E, and pomegranate extract, I want to say. I think The Ordinary has one with vitamin C and vitamin E, but again, I haven't quite looked into that yet, because anytime I build my fantasy cart, who else does that? You go and you build a fantasy cart and then you abandon it. It's like my favorite hobby. But I have done that before, and some of the stuff I just want to put in one big batch order, and so every time I go there, without a doubt, something out of stock. And so it kind of always pumps the brakes on my purchase, but just know, I am looking into it, and I don't think they have an identical formula to this, but I think something similar and for a lot cheaper. But in the meantime, I would recommend this. I really love the texture of it. It's very thin. It's a great thin layer to have on under your makeup as you apply it in the morning. It's good to apply at night. I definitely find that I need a moisturizer over top, but I personally like to layer my makeup my skincare like that, so that I can layer more. I have a hair. I'm so sorry. I've been doing this the whole video. I just love a good thin treatment layer, and that's exactly what this is. It doesn't leave my skin, it leaves my skin feeling nice nice and balanced. As I have combo skin, it doesn't make me too greasy, oily, messy. And not that it would, but it doesn't, you know, leave my skin feeling dry or stripped or anything like that. In terms of results, I have been using it in conjunction with an exfoliating skincare routine, the one that I talked about in my recent favorites video. It's chock full of glycolic acid, and so it's a great products to use in conjunction with this because you're freshly exfoliating your face and you're applying vitamin C and vitamin E, so you're getting your moisture. The vitamin C will help protect and brighten that fresh, new, exfoliated skin. I haven't noticed, you know, immediately dramatic results or any more dramatic results than I was with the exfoliating routine, which I really, really love and recommend, but I have only been using it for 2 weeks, and so I think long-term use might prove that out a little more. In the meantime, I just really do like the texture, and as far as it goes in protecting my skin, especially during the summer when I'm outdoors more, it's just a good addition that I like to have both morning and night. Speaking of skin protection, I have 2 products in this line that are not only meant to be kind of makeup beauty products, but also to protect the skin with a whopping SPF 50 in both of them. The first of which, let's talk about the Skin Shielding Moisturizer. Very lightly tinted moisturizer, the texture of which is very thin. So it's a really light layer on the skin, but it still offers you that SPF of 50. Personally, I did not find that this did much of anything in the way of evening out my skin tone, which I'm not actually mad at because the universal tint idea here, when I first saw it, I thought it's way too light. It's a little too ashy, and so if it doesn't, I mean, it's just so limiting. So you knew it had to be a pretty sheer sort of color payoff. I think that's ultimately going to be a good thing for basically anyone. I've been liking it as a thin SPF layer underneath the rest of my makeup. I like it more, in fact, than the actual product that's supposed to be a primer. This is the SPF 50 Skin Shielding Primer. Again, this has universal tint as well. This has a much thicker texture though. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference as I'm doing these demos here. As a result, I find that this can be built for a little bit more pigmentation, and so it evens my skin tone out more so than the tinted moisturizer. Again though, I don't know that that's necessarily going to be beneficial for everyone because universal tint in this context, not so universal. And on top of that, it has a very silicone-y sort of feel, like that very slick, soft. It makes your skin feel nice and soft and supple, but it's not personally something I like for my skin because I have a hard enough time keeping product on to begin with combo skin. My skin is quick to become an oil slick, and so I just found that, especially under makeup, I find the Skin Shielding Moisturizer to be way more effective at hydrating my skin just enough, but it's thin enough to where my skin doesn't feel smothered, it doesn't feel too heavy, and it's starting to get to that point a little bit with this Skin Shielding Primer product. On the other hand, if you like that thicker texture, if you have a drier skin type and you find your skin needs that hydration, I would totally recommend this guy. Just beware though that if you have a skin tone that isn't quite as close to this, you just might see a little bit of a cast come off of that because it's just a little light and ashy. And last up is the Massaging Overnight Recovery Cream. It is called that. I mean, it looks like a pretty standard cream here, but it's actually called the Massaging Cream because it comes with a massaging balls tip head, not just one ball tip, but like multiple, 5 little ball points in there that roll, and that rolling action, you know, gently massages your skin as you go in and apply it. It opens and closes so that you know, if you want to travel with this, you don't have to worry about it exploding and just like getting all everywhere on everything. You can actually close it, which is nice. It says it's a lightweight gel cream that's packed with nourishing antioxidants, vitamin C, pomegranate extract, argan oil, carrot seed oil to help overnight skin recovery and diminish the effects of everyday environmental aggressors. We got it. So basically everything I talked about before this was your daily protection. It's the shield you put up before you go out during the day, and this is supposed to come in at the end of the day and help repair whatever damage may or may not have happened. I'll say I personally do like the skin massage aspect of this. It's the last thing I think to do in my skincare routine, so I literally never do it. This kind of forces you to. It applies that moisturizer on top of it. I didn't find it too heavy for my combo skin at all. I didn't wake up being like, ugh, you know, like an oil mask on my face, so that's really good. But I didn't notice it doing anything super spectacular for my skin. That is in the short term. Obviously, these are going to be more long-term benefits, but just in terms of, you know, things to expect right when you start using this, it's really just a good reminder to, you know, incorporate facial massage more frequently in your daily skincare routine. So maybe 10 years from now, my skin will thank me for doing this. But I wouldn't say in terms of instant gratification, it's a must. But if you're looking for a nighttime moisturizer and you're into facial massage, this would be a good option because it's relatively relatively affordable at 14 bucks and it's not too heavy. Having said that though, it probably won't be a great moisturizer for those with dry to very dry skin. You might have to layer up over on top of this just to make sure you're getting all of the moisture your skin needs. So in short, pretty good, but not an absolute must-have. That is it from the entire collection. Like I said, I don't personally have the spray to use, so I'm sorry about not being able to include that in here. But besides that, I hope all of this was helpful and informative, and obviously this is just how it interacted with my skin type, my skin tone. So I'd love to hear if you guys have had a different experience, because that will help somebody else who doesn't have my skin type or tone understand how it might react for them. So definitely let people know in the comments below. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.